In 1834, the site where the theatre now stands was part of a huge tract of land that was purchased by the families of Rupert Hetherington Moorpark and Charles Penmark Satakoy. Their goal was to bring culture to the native Chumash Indians living in the area.
Dearest Mother, today we have erected our tent. Tomorrow we begin presenting our first show based on the poems of our favorite poet, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Your nephew and my partner, Charles, have decided to direct an interpretive dance based on the poem Hiawatha. Wish us luck, dear Mother, as we set sail on the seas of drama. Your loving son, Rupert Hetherington Moorpark.
Their plan to present religious dramas and dance collapsed miserably. The normally peaceful Chumash, enraged at the presentation of their race by several white actors, burned down the tent where the first production was being performed. Moorpark and Satakoy were barely able to escape with their lives and the proceeds. In 1858, two descendants of the Moorpark and Satakoy families took over the property. Althea Moorpark Diggs and Rupert Satakoy Moorpark built the first permanent structure on the site where today's theatre stands.
Dearest Mother, today myself and cousin Althea Moorpark Diggs celebrate the opening of our new theatre. In honor of our beloved families, we have christened the theatre the Mordecai Theatrical Company Playhouse and LaGrange Meeting Hall. Wish us great luck as our first production opens next week. Your loving son, Rupert Satakoy Moorpark.
They chose as their inaugural production Uncle Tom's Cabin, starring amateur actor and local favorite Percy McHarrig Countenton, a Santa Paula blacksmith. Countenton starred as the protagonist of the story, Little Eva. The sight of a grown man in a blonde wig and pinafore dress enraged the theatergoers, which included many Chumash Indians who had returned specifically for this event. They once again burned the theater. The theater owners fled to Santa Barbara with the proceeds.
Dearest Mother, I now realize the world of theater is fraught with danger and repellent persons. I hope never to see or hear of another play as long as I live. Myself and cousin Althea have decided to sell the land and to begin a new life as missionaries. We leave on the fortnight to Borneo to bring culture to the natives there.
Neither of the Moorpark descendants was ever heard from again. The land on which the theatre was situated was sold to Edmund Levitre Flory, an itinerant soap merchant. Mr. Flory was searching for the perfect venue to sell his special railroad soap to the local rail workers. Flory's plan was to erect a new theatre to present operettas, where he could also sell beer at 5 cents a bucket and the soap for 50 cents a bar. His new theatre opened in 1880 with a production of The 10 Commandments.
Dearest Father, I have today taken steps to assure my success in my new endeavor. Acting with speed and clarity on the advice of my director, I have hired the celebrated Italian actors Ernesto Fortunato Rossi to play Moses and Adelaide Ristori to portray Nefertiti. Because of this, success will nay be the elusive nymph tantalizing me any longer. Your son, Edmund Levitra Flory.
Unfortunately for Flory, neither actor spoke English, which director Montague also failed to realize due to the fact that he was seldom sober enough to actually attend rehearsals. The railroad workers, furious at being unable to understand Italian as well as with the exorbitant price of the soap, began to riot. Aided by passing Chumash missionaries, they burned the theater to the ground.
It is interesting to note that audiences have seen 3 productions at this site and have burned the theater or tent 3 consecutive times. Indeed, the site itself remained vacant for several decades. However, August 4th, 1912, the land around the theater burst spontaneously into flames. Very strange.
The Ventura County oil and agriculture boom of 1922 established Moorpark as the hub of the county. A new theater was built by E.F. Albee, at the time the predominant figure in U.S. theater, nationally known for his Orpheum vaudeville circuit. Because of Albie's chokehold on show business, he was able to strong-arm many of vaudeville's biggest stars into performing at the theater. On May 12, 1929, during the rousing finale of My Bonnie Lass, starring Constance Talmadge and Wallace Beery, an ecstatic and hysterical Albie hurled his straw boater into the air, striking a light, which quickly caught fire. Once again, the theater was destroyed.
It was a very sad time in the life of Moorpark after Albie idiotically set fire to the theater. Some people claimed he did it on purpose after his amorous advances to Constance Talmadge were rebuked. Either way, most people felt that Albie had it coming. The theater remained vacant for the next 35 years, until it was bought by that church.
In 1954, the land was purchased and the theater was again rebuilt by the Church of Biblical Perseverance and Personal Hygiene. Led by the charismatic Lavonia Mo Juste, this shadowy cult-like group's most distinguishing characteristic was their penchant for wearing red socks. The theater remained in church hands until 1969, when the church members abruptly moved to Des Moines, Iowa to become camel farmers. They did so in preparation for their eventual migration from the planet Earth to the star Camelopardalis. Mysteriously, no trace of these people remain today. In 1981, the theater was purchased by local artisan and teacher Kirk Aiken, and the place was turned over to a group of performers who became known as the magnificent Moorpark Melodrama and Vaudeville Company. In 1985, the theater was sold to the Breedeman family, who brought in a new group of performers. Best known of these were the creative team which integrated the new sound of rock and roll music with old-time fairy tales and folk legends. The groundbreaking and most successful of these shows was the mega-hit Sleeping Beauty, which literally transformed the melodrama theatrical experience. Tonight, we are proud to reintroduce Ventura County audiences to that magical show. As a reminder, please check all lighters, fuses, fireworks, blowtorches, gas cans, and other incendiary devices at the door. And of course, no smoking permitted inside the theater.